Hello and welcome back, hopefully, or welcome for the first time to the Night In Show. We're really going to focus on talking to the subscription box owner in this episode. Especially helpful, this episode will be for the first holiday season subscription box owner. But even if it's your second or third, we hope that there's something that you can learn.
Yeah. And thank God it's the holiday season.
Yeah,
too,
absolutely.
because summertime, it slows down.
Yeah.
So we're ready for getting in our end season, our growing season that we like to call it.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about when we started the box and that we had no idea we were doing it at the absolute right time. And our results at first were not typical. So what I mean by that is we launched our first box in either September or October, our first season.
It was September.
September.
That we did it, yeah.
And so now in our historical data, we know that September is when we just see things pick up. And overwhelmingly, there is a trend come mid-October, late October that we've seen now for 3 years where sales explode. People will more overwhelmingly choose a 3 and a 6 and a 12-month subscription, and sales just kind of take off on everybody.
Right. Well, and it's like that for throughout the e-commerce, online retail, and even just normal retail market too, like that, where there's a growing season. So when you get into the gifting part of the year around the holidays, people are starting to think about others more and willing to spend more money on, I guess, product-based items.
Yeah, retail in general. Absolutely.
Yeah, as opposed to in summertime where you're really spending your money on, I don't know, events or activities. Vacations, yeah, things like that, where now people are starting to buy more product-based.
Yeah, and so here's Brian and I sitting. We had no experience in retail. And I mean, of course, we knew Christmas was coming, but we didn't know that holiday was like our shot. And now, 3 years later, every holiday season comes and we take all summer to prepare and get ready. But we want to talk about our experiences of what happened, what were our stumbling points, what you can expect, how you can optimize, and really like why timing a subscription box correctly for the holiday season is just of utmost importance.
Yeah, and our team's been planning Christmas and the holidays in the summertime.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's still hot out, but they've been planning since July.
Yeah.
And getting ideas, getting ready for the season. So we've been thinking about this for a while now.
So we've talked about this in other podcasts. So we launched originally in September 3 years ago. Then we did an October box. Then we went very heavy fall themed, which we would absolutely suggest you do. If it's possible, theme your boxes, theme the items, go for the holiday look and feel. It's absolutely worth it and it will, I believe, increase conversions. So we did a very beautifully themed fall box. We got a placement in BuzzFeed. We did not pay a PR agency. It just kind of fell into our lap. And we were off to the races from, I would say, 34 subscribers into the 1,000 mark. We were in a 1,000-ish square foot home, packing on our own. And I could not keep up with customer service. And it was terrifying. It was totally terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, I remember, stepping on Crinkle throughout the night. I mean, we would wake up, 6 o'clock in the morning and literally pack our boxes until 11 o'clock at night. It was pretty overwhelming. Yeah. We had pre-assembled boxes set up in a guest bedroom that we had.
Yeah, a newborn.
And then we had our newborn and then our 2-year-old also at the time. Mm-hmm. We had us, and then we had our kitchen and living room was where we were assembling everything on dining room table, floors, kitchen countertops, sofas, and all this was happening inside of our 1,600 square foot home. And so it was getting pretty cramped, and that's when we realized that we needed to kind of expand at that point.
And so I have these memories of the Dymo for XL or 4 something label printer, and we were working with Pirate Ship. Is that it? Pirate Ship. It's been so long. So they were like angel saints from God. Their the label maker stopped working at 11 p.m. maybe. Oh God, it was so late. And
we were approaching our deadline to get these things out.
It had broken like 4 times. I hadn't slept for a month. I'm not a crier. I just don't cry. I was in tears, like so tired. Knew we had to get these closed up before the kids would come and start messing with them. And a big shout out to Bjorn if you're listening, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Got on chat with me to configure my label maker at like 11 o'clock. And that's always just been who Pirate Ship is and the people there. If you are new and you can't get some, better shipping rates, Pirate Ship is fantastic. Wonderful company, will help you at every turn, even provide us with some strategic advice as we were scaling so quickly. And they are an excellent resource for your shipping needs when you are starting out.
Yeah, I remember calling them also and asking them questions that were not even shipping related.
Right, like subscription box related.
Yeah, that
industry related.
I mean, we were so new to it, and
we had no idea.
Kind of getting thrown into it and trying to do this, trying to use part-time hours to do a full-time job. It was really hard. So they were a great ear for us to lean on to and help us along the way. But because of those learning experiences that we've had, we've been able to, I think, scale a little bit more appropriately and faster too, because we got a team of people now that can actually help, and we have a facility now that can facilitate our needs.
Let's talk to the subscription box owner that's not there yet. They're not going to have a team. What was some of the instant wins, and a few come to mind? So we could not afford an office, but we went and found a storage unit that houses like RVs and boats. It did not have AC or heat, but it got it out of our house, and it made it possible to have a little bit more space to meet the demand. You built tables, like long assembly tables.
Yeah, well, and I think it even to back up a little bit further, that it's absolutely possible to build a successful subscription box business without getting investors too.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You can bootstrap it, and it's very doable. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of reliable friends to help.
Yeah.
But the way the reoccurring revenue works, you're going to have the money in order to afford to get the products in and actually, pack and kit and assemble, order all the things and items for the box.
Yeah.
And still be able to make money on it.
There should be a very nice influx of cash flow, and that comes in during holiday, that if you use it wisely, you should, like you're saying, not have to get an investor and kind of go that route. You can make it work. You will operate under extremely tight deadlines. You have to get very good on your estimations, but it's totally possible. But I feel like, so we got that big, we got up to maybe 3,000, 4,000. We got the storage unit, and that was one thing that helped. A lot of these storage units will allow you to go on short-term contracts. And I remember Bjorn or someone at Pirate Ship said, like, we got a storage unit. We call everyone that we know, and they come over and they help us pack. And we kind of like went into that model for a little while.
Yeah, we did. We friends at the time who helped us pack, and then the storage unit was about 1,500 square feet.
Yeah.
I built some assembly tables, real cheap, out of plywood and 2x4 material.
Yeah.
And we lined up the entire warehouse with those, and we started packing, and we didn't realize that we were really packing them the wrong way.
Yeah.
We weren't doing it in an assembly line style. We would set up boxes, pack them, fold them,
drop,
and then
drop.
Yeah, drop items in each box, close them, and then repeat. Start over with new boxes again. And that really is not the way to do it. It is way more efficient to do assembly line style.
Everyone has like
boxes.
a station.
But yeah, it got hot in there.
It did have a
early
bathroom
that year.
Thank God.
Yeah, I had a bathroom, but we got to a point where didn't have enough friends here. We were still new to Aiken at
Yeah.
the time where we live, and we didn't have the amount of friends that could come out and help us. So we went to the time we got some staffing. We went
Yeah.
to a staffing agency here in town.
Yes.
And they helped us and provided
Sent
us
us
with
some college workers.
some college kids that needed some help in their Christmas break time.
Yeah. One of them, I mean, majority of them were good, but I mean, you have your college kids. One of them like had to step out to go throw up. He must have been partying or something the night before.
Oh,
You
my
remember
God.
that? We were like, "Are you serious?" Like,
So we
dude.
were under another deadline,
Yeah.
right? And we pull up, and I remember it being freezing out that day. And so again, there's no heat in this facility, so we're all bundled up and we're packing boxes. I pull up to work. He pulls up next to me, and I can tell he's just ghost white, and I'm just like, "Oh God, this kid doesn't look good." He goes, "Sir, I don't feel good." And I go, "What's the matter?" He's like, "Oh, I just don't feel good today."
Like, we're not born yesterday. All right, buddy.
And
Yep.
yeah, the kid definitely was tanking it.
And like we got there early, so I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
And then we had people like one kid was an engineer major, and he shouldn't have been packing boxes, but he needed money for the holidays, and so
Yeah, one
Yeah.
kid had just graduated from college, couldn't get a job
yet.
His engineering degree that he graduated
Yeah,
with.
just
and,
willing to do whatever. Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
we've had some good ones. We've had some unreliable ones
Yeah,
along the way
absolutely.
too.
So, okay. So we scaled and we did not put a limit on the orders. We did not go into sold out mode. And there is pros and cons to this. I believe it got us to where we were, but also we failed in many areas. We made it work, but we could not keep up with customer service. We did not know the correct intervals to ship for the holiday yet, and this is all things that we'll talk about. But there are things that we can help you with so that you do not have to limit your growth and go into sold out mode, and you can just be off to the races because you will not get this chance again until the next holiday season.
I think you should explain a little bit more about the difference between that sold out mode and then keeping the revenue stream open.
So some people will choose. I mean, this didn't even cross our. Well, no, it might have. I might have been like, oh my God, should we stop because we can't do this? But that's just like not really in my mindset, and it was so exciting. So some people will choose to say 1,000 boxes. That is it. We are going into sold out mode until the following month. We're done. And that really messes with some shipping timings and pulling of labels and things like that, but you can figure it out. Or you can just open it wide up and let it go.
They go all the way to your order cutoff,
Yes.
whenever that is.
Yes. And so we chose not to limit it. We've never gone into sold out mode. We've always either found a way, like if we didn't have enough inventory, we've bought more. We've given out previous themes of leftover inventory, but we've never gone into sold out mode. There's benefits to sold out mode. It creates urgency and, supply and demand. It, pushes people like, oh, I've got to get the subscription because I don't want to not be able to have it available. But we didn't do it. So you have those two options. We never have chosen to do it.
Yeah. There's challenges to not choosing to do it too.
Yeah. Okay. So we're sitting there and we didn't ship soon enough. So all of the postal carriers, whether you're talking FedEx, UPS, USPS, everybody, DHL, will put out these calendars that tell you your drop dead ship date. They don't mean anything. They're a good guide, but our advice overwhelmingly would be come December 1, start shipping. Ship every single day so you have a fighting chance to get underneath people's trees. And like elaborate on this more because it's way more in your wheelhouse.
Well, we're talking about the holiday season right now. It is so hard to ship. It's such a cluster shipping during December. We've had some pretty bad luck when it comes to
or just lack of knowing.
Yeah, lack of knowledge, but at the same time, we've had some unreliable shipping services. Really.
They're so
us.
backed up. They've got to just be so overwhelmed themselves.
So, you have to really plan ahead. And if say your order cutoff is normally on the 15th of
Yeah.
every month. Well, that's not going to be
Enough time.
not enough time to get your boxes from the 15th to
24th, let's just
to the
say.
24th or
You don't want to
before
do that to
Christmas.
yourself, trust me.
You have to you can maintain your order cutoff, but you have to actually start shipping out well in advance.
Yes.
And so what we've started doing, we actually ship out every single day during December.
Yes. On the 1st, we get all of our renewals, all of our current customers that have been with us taken care of. And we renew on the 28th, so we know. We give them a little bit of time. If somebody needs to like cancel or get a refund, we give them the 28th. But we will start, our biggest shipment will be around the 1st, and then you can get hundreds of orders every day. So another 100 will go out on the 2nd. It could be 200 on the 3rd, 50 on the 4th, and you ship every single day. And then there is also a timing element of using what carriers. So, like we knew that there was a point when we had to stop. At the time, maybe we were shipping with, not UPS,
We were shipping
the first year.
Yeah, we were shipping with USPS.
And then we
first year.
switched when it got closer for like 2-day priority. Like you really have to get your timing down right, isn't it?
Yeah. So, well, initially the first year we were only using USPS.
Yeah.
And we were still using Pirate Ship at the time.
Yes.
And the reason why we left the USPS has nothing to do with the actual shipping time.
Yeah. They're fantastic.
Or reliability. In fact, it's really hard to beat USPS's shipping time.
Yeah. Transit times. Yeah.
I don't know if you can. If you can, then somebody let me know. But lots of times other carriers will use USPS for that final leg of the delivery. Anyway, so USPS really is hard to beat as far as delivery. We had issues with reliability on our local branch.
Yes. They had never experienced
our small
anything
town,
like it. Yeah.
It couldn't handle the amount of volume we were doing.
Yes.
They couldn't provide us with a truck big enough to carry the amount of boxes that we had to a larger facility. We went over so many postmasters' heads, and we pissed off so many people in doing
Just trying to
that.
get
It was
it
so
picked up.
frustrating.
So
Just to get things picked up.
so if you can fit in a minivan, use a minivan. You just cannot rely on them getting to you to pick them up. We experienced this, and our first fulfillment partner experienced this. So I have always said, like, let's get a U-Haul, start loading it up, or take it in loads in our minivan at the time. You have to be able to get your boxes there. And if you're going to ship USPS, you might just want to take the card away of them coming to get your boxes during the holiday season. They're going to be backed up. It may not happen. They may not have the vans, or we've experienced, we have a truck, but we don't have a licensed driver for that truck. Like it requires a special license.
Yeah,
they didn't have anybody.
It was a 2-ton truck, and they couldn't get anybody trained to drive the 2-ton truck to come and pick up our pallets. So we had to bag everything, and it was just ridiculous.
They can supply you with bags that fit about 39 by 6 by 4 boxes, and you can go and request them, and they'll give you like 50, 100, however many you need, and then you can load them up and go. That helps. But like in hindsight, I mean, we had a fulfillment partner. It was our second holiday season, and we had thousands of boxes sitting with a label. They had done all of their homework to have a USPS pickup. Nobody showed up, and we were like, go get a truck and take the boxes, and they just wouldn't do it. And so just remember, that's always an option. You know, if you can get the boxes to them, they will usually make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, if there's always a solution to every problem. You just have to be willing to put in the legwork, because third-party carriers, I mean, they're just it's hard to rely on them. What we do now is what we found is that USPS can handle smaller quantities very well.
At least in our town. I'm sure if you live in like Boston or Chicago or Atlanta, you're good to go.
Yeah, when the branches are larger and they have more people working, they might be able to handle different. For us, they can handle small quality. Smaller quantity is like 200 boxes or less. So
no problem.
When we're doing 200 boxes a day in December, we can still use USPS and still guarantee really good transit times up to a certain point
Yeah.
in the month. But until then, we use other carriers with longer transit times
Because
when
we
we're
can
not in the
prepare more.
holidays. But yeah, we have way more time to prepare. We're not fighting other boxes. I mean, we're not competing with
Yes.
larger brand companies
Yes.
for shipping room on trucks and planes. So
Right. Now, this may seem like a no-brainer, but it's something that we've but we've thought about now. You need to understand, if you're using other carriers, if your box is over a pound, how it affects transit time, how the weight of your box in general affects transit time. For example, if we keep it under a pound, it's so much faster, and I don't think it ever touches a plane.
no,
Or am I getting an opposite? If it's over a pound, it takes like several days more.
right. If it's over a pound, then it takes a little bit longer to get there.
Right. And so we pay attention to that. You need to pay attention to weather. Think about if you have any items that can freeze. It can happen if you're like in the beauty industry maybe and you're transporting like lotions or oils. I don't know. Think about the weather because sometimes they can sit out on people's front porches in freezing cold mailboxes.
We made that mistake early on. We thought it was cool enough in the fall, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
And we sent out something that was chocolate.
It had chocolate on it, and it was a mess.
And many people, it would get delivered in their mailbox. Their mailbox is in the sun. It was a heat wave.
Yeah.
And it melted the chocolate inside.
And then
the
we've
box.
had stuff freeze too. Freeze and crack.
Yeah, we've had stuff. If remember the pressure inside of an airplane. I mean, some on those cargo planes, not everything's pressurized. So we've had issues where things have cracked.
Yeah.
Because of the pressure.
Yeah. Now, I would say if you're going to be doing over 1,000 labels too, it might be worth investing in more than one Dymo label maker. So we have like a big Mac Daddy one because labels were starting to take days to print out of the smaller one. But I would have loved to, when one got jammed or broken, have another one to keep operations moving or get two going at once. That would have been a really nice solution until we could afford to go to the big one.
Right. The reason why we waited so long was because that big zebra label was $2,000.
Yeah, exactly. But it's life changing.
Yeah. Now it's
Oh my
worth
God.
it now but now, I mean, with the quantity that we're doing now, it's going to be. We had to have it. I mean,
Yeah,
it spits
oh, yeah.
out labels so fast.
Yeah, what was taking us 3 days maybe is 6 hours.
Yeah. I mean, so it's awesome to do that. But yeah, I mean, if you can always go get two of those smaller
Yeah.
label printers.
Like, wouldn't that have been great when it broke at 11 o'clock to just be like, let's use the other one. We can come back to this one in the morning. Like,
Yeah.
we never did it though. Probably because we couldn't even look. Think.
Yeah.
Seriously.
We were delusional by that point.
Yeah, absolutely. Another good thing, let's switch gears from logistics to sourcing products, is let's say reach for the stars. You think maybe you're going to get to the most 4,000. Secure your prices at 4,000, but find out ahead of time if you were to exceed that cap, if your vendors could rush, get you, and honor the pricing that you got at the 4,000 units of more product.
Well, the biggest problem with not having a cap on what you're going to do
You
every
have to
month,
scramble.
you have to project how many boxes you're going to sell that month, and it's hard to do. You can get it, you can get close, but you can never be exact. Sometimes you're a little short, and sometimes you have extra. You can get when you have extra, you can get creative with how to get rid of the extra boxes and extra inventory. With one-off sales and doing things like that. But at the same time, you want to try to get it as close to the exact number that you're going to get. So you're not wasting money. I mean, more money you spend that you don't need to spend is less profit. So when on the times that you are short and like say your cutoff is the 15th, right? And if you sell out by the 10th, you got 5 more days of
sales
that
are
you
incredible.
that you haven't accounted for yet. So you're going to be scrambling.
And if you prepare your vendors, you don't really have to.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing is whoever the sales rep is, whoever you're getting your products from, need to have a heads up on that because they can get you more product, but are they going to be willing to give it to you at the same price that you paid at before, because it's a lower quantity this time? And how quickly can they get it to you?
Well,
because you have to schedule your packers to get everything packed.
And sometimes they can't get it to you. And so we always ask, am I cleaning you out of inventory? Will this wipe you out? Because we don't really source products from China, but some of the people we buy from domestically will get things from China. And if we clean them out, then they are looking at a 60-day transit time to get in their next load. So then we go to like different vendors, or even if things are domestically, sometimes you have to understand who's the manufacturer of this product and who are their distributors. So if I go to X and I clean them out, who else can help me secure 30, 100, more units? And you kind of just have to like look at the whole landscape of sourcing to really understand. If I'm in panic mode, what am I going to do? And you can always get more.
Shipping is really expensive as well. So knowing the location of their the distributors is key too, because if you're in a crunch, you need to get something in there in less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
It can cost a lot to get someone to drive that. We've done that before where we've had companies actually drive things from Ohio or Nebraska to get here to South Carolina quick enough.
Yep.
But if you have a distributor that's close to where you are located, then that's going to save you a ton of money.
And it's a great point, because we've paid more for product that had a closer footprint because we saved the difference in shipping.
Yeah.
So really, really do your homework and ask, if you are having a conversation with a distributor, ask who their retailers are according to geographic region. We always start as close as we can in South Carolina and then branch out.
Right. But we've also made mistakes too, where we've done the opposite of that, where we've had to pay more in shipping than what the 500 units that we were short were.
Yeah, to get it here
the cost of those
fast.
actual units. We paid more in shipping to get it there, when things have to come from California all the way to the East Coast.
And that's just a judgment call, like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm paying for this much. But if you are able to make 500 more boxes happen and 60% renew, it will pay for itself. But I mean, those are just... We've written checks for things that's like, I cannot believe I'm doing this. Like, my hand did not want to write the total, because it's like, what am I doing? Like, it feels unnatural. It's so bizarre. It's really bizarre for writing a huge check for packs of caramel or just something like so strange. Scarves one year, and it just like, holy moly. It's very surreal sometimes.
Yeah. We're always pinching ourselves over here.
Yeah, exactly. So, consider the geographic footprint and everything like that.
But that's where you do, if your company, I want to say it's a disadvantage, but it is an extra obstacle where we are located all the way on one side of the country.
Yes.
And we order products from all over our nation. So if you're in the Midwest, if you're in Texas, if you're somewhere centrally located, then you're going to have you're going to be a little bit better off. Mm-hmm. Not only that, but the cost of shipping your boxes will be much cheaper on average than what ours is going to be.
Right, because we're reaching zones 6, 7, 8, where if we were located in the central part of the country, we'd be only reaching zones like, let's say 4 to get to New York, maybe 5 to reach the far reaches of Yeah, and it makes a huge difference. And watching the weight of your boxes makes a huge difference. And there's just all these things that we didn't know, but that you'll learn, that I just hope this helps you some. Okay, so let's...
Back to the holiday season.
Well, I'm thinking for sourcing products, if there's any other tips that I have. Okay, so we never accept the first price that a vendor brings us. That's one thing. And... then I always go, and if, let's say, I was sourcing products or someone on the team was, and they said like, okay, $2.50 is the lowest that I can get per unit, I would say, all right, let me go check everything and challenge it. So then we would go through another system of like, well, hold on a second. We go into like Google Shopping, or I go to the like 20th page of the search results for somebody that's just not as, discoverable, and we always try and beat it. Then there is absolutely a ploy that goes into the fact that you have to remember, let's say once you get over 1,000 units, for some of these smaller companies, if you're able to work with them, 1,000 units is a lot of business. And they're used to maybe, interacting in a different environment with retailers where they couldn't even hold 1,000 units in their store on a shelf. And so we say a lot of times that this is a marketing opportunity, that we're getting you into the households of affluent young parents who are going to be able to tangibly try your product. And this is of an asset to you. This is like a marketing vehicle. It's better than a billboard. It's better than a display ad. And what's the most rock bottom prices? And we ask for lower than distributor pricing on everything that we do.
Yeah, you'd be surprised at how low people are willing to go on their prices. Obviously, the more the quantity you have, the more bargaining power you got too. But then another thing to remember, though, as you get into the holiday season, is just as you need to ship out your finished product, your boxes early, there's to get the products in, the stuff that's going to go into your box, you also have to prepare that well in advance to get it in so that you can pack it and kit it and turn it around.
We ordered from a major retailer 4 products. They were baking related that was going to go into our Christmas box. This was last Christmas, I think. And you would think, my mindset was, they're a big retailer, they're used to this, they're not going to have any problems. I mean, a giant supplier to like Walmart, Target, everywhere, Michael's, Hobby Lobby. And we got a call. We had thought we had backed it up way far enough, and she said, we're going to blow your deadline. And I said, how? Like, we've been working on this for so long. She said, we are getting purchase orders to our warehouse, and it's taking them 5 to 6 days just to prepare the shipments. We have such demand. And this was a major company. And so I learned a lesson: never depend on one supplier or too many products. Do not put your eggs in one basket. Spread it out. Use different retailers, because our hands were tied at that point. There was nothing we could do.
Yeah, I mean, we do a really good job of, I think, explaining to them about, hey, we're deadline based. We need to have these things in when they say they're going to be in.
Yeah.
I don't know how often that really helps, though, because there's times when, some of these suppliers, they just they don't come through, or they say, it's going to be there on a Monday. And when that Monday rolls around, we're expecting a delivery. We call them at 3:00 asking where the delivery is. Yeah. And they say, it hasn't even left our warehouse yet. Yes. Or it's not even prepped to leave the warehouse yet. Yes. And they're located in New York or something like that.
Then you're in trouble.
Yeah. So you got to have somebody lined up to take the place of that company and provide you with whatever it is that you need, because that is going to happen. And around the holidays, it happens more often.
Yes. Now let's talk. I don't want to forget. I have another point for us: expedited shipping, expedited freight. How you can jump some of those awful hoops that you never want to be in. And then also, I cannot tell you how important extreme overbearing follow-up is. You can push these vendors to say, when will my shipment leave your warehouse? They tell you on Wednesday. On Monday, I would send an email or pick up the phone. We're really big on picking up the phone.
Yeah.
Is my shipment, this is Monday, is my shipment going to be ready on time on Wednesday, or have you had any unexpected delays? And sometimes the shipment isn't even on their radar, and then you've reminded them, or, oh, yes, we do have a problem. Then you can plan accordingly or change transit times at that point. You call Tuesday. Are we still on track? You call Wednesday. Has it left? And then you watch it like a hawk. We have had things intercepted and turned around. We have had things missing. We have had everything that you could never imagine or see coming happen.
Yeah, we've literally had pallets of product go missing.
Yeah.
And not
You've
show
in your
up.
Car.
I've driven to local distribution centers to find my pallets. Some pallets you can't find, and they show up a month later. They just show up randomly.
They were delivered to someone else.
They're delivered to the wrong business.
It gives me a headache thinking about it.
So you have to have plan B in place, because and the last thing customer service is huge, and we haven't even talked about that, but they want their dates for us. They want their dates, but they're going to want your box to be underneath their Christmas tree.
Yeah, and they're very disappointed.
And when
it's
they
not.
don't get it, they're very disappointed. And honestly, it's understandably so.
And you've lost them. There's no
Yeah.
winning it back at that point.
Yeah. And so,
In the day of Amazon, there's just when they can get you stuff so fast, there's no winning them back.
yeah. So you got to set realistic expectations too. And don't lie to the customers. Don't tell them that you can guarantee something if
Yeah.
you can't really guarantee delivery, because there's so much that you can't guarantee about
in control.
logistics in December. Shipping, it's a nightmare. It's its own beast. And you can plan the best you can and still have things go wrong. However, the more you plan and the more you prepare and the more you can get things out earlier, then the better
Yeah. You
results you're going to
give
get.
yourself a fighting chance.
Yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
so then something that we didn't know that has been extremely helpful. So it's the 11th hour. Something is stuck. Something has gotten shipped too late. We use expedited freight. It's an option we use XPO Logistics. I feel comfortable saying that because they are fantastic for us. They've come through every time. They will take a Sprinter van. So let's say, I'm just using this as an example. We have a freight shipment that's gone with FedEx Freight, and it's just going to take too long. We have had an XPO Freight Sprinter van go to the FedEx locations, intercept the shipment, and get it to us. They drive overnight. It does cost more money, but for us, meeting the deadline was a non-negotiable, and they have gotten stuff to us. So there's always a possibility of switching carriers. We never really considered that in the past. And you do have an option to get you out of a jam.
Yeah, I mean, we built up good relationships with certain freight companies.
yeah.
XPO is definitely one of them. And they have come through for us in the clutch
Yeah.
when we have needed them.
Yeah.
And that Sprinter van, basically, it's freight pricing. It's expedited freight pricing,
Yeah.
which is significantly more than freight pricing, but it's expedited freight pricing without the freight truck.
Yes. And it's dedicated usually just to you.
Yeah,
There's no other people's shipments on it.
It's basically like a cargo van. So they can only fit 1 or 2 pallets on there. But sometimes we're only missing that 1 or 2 pallets. So
Yeah.
we can go, once we figure out where the pallet is that's missing, or if one of the people who are supposed to send us the products, if they're behind. And so you got to remember, freight trucks are going to have multiple stops, multiple deliveries.
You're at
It's
the
kind of like
mercy of them.
it works like how a train would, where there's different stations it's got to stop at before they get there. So for some reason, we're typically on the back of the truck. So or in the front of the truck. So we're one of the last ones to get delivered.
Yeah.
When it's a Sprinter van, it's only got your stuff on it.
Right.
So it's going right to your warehouse. When we come in at 8 a.m. in the morning,
You can choose the delivery time too.
yeah, you can choose it. They'll actually be waiting on us.
They'll be sleeping in our parking lot.
Yeah, they'll be asleep because they just drove through the night from
New York,
usually upstate New York somewhere, or
We had Vermont
Omaha,
maple
Nebraska.
syrup. We've intercepted a shipment of Vermont maple syrup. It got here. He slept overnight, and then we hand loaded it off the truck. Will, our videographer, helped me hand load like cases of little syrup,
Yeah,
hundreds. Oh God, that's
yeah. But I remember talking to the one guy. He had just came down from, I don't remember where it was. I think that was the one that came from Nebraska
yeah.
and from Omaha. And he just drove down, and then as he was unloading the pallet with me, he got a phone call and said, well, headed up to Albany.
Yeah.
He said he was going up to Albany, New York, and to go pick something else up and then bring it to Texas.
Yeah, so
So
crazy.
those guys, they just get phone calls, and then they're on their way.
Just do
I
it.
mean,
Yeah, they get people out of jams all day, every day. Yeah.
talking about putting some
So
miles on.
Crazy, yeah. I do feel early on that the logistic component of everything was the hardest for us. And so I hope these tips are going to help somebody because Jesus.
Yeah, because, well, it's constantly changing, I think.
And unpredictable, yeah.
Yeah, there's so many things that are out of your control that you just have to be able to roll with.
Yeah.
Which is why starting earlier, set a best case scenario deadline every month, and make sure that it's early enough. Worst case scenario is that nothing happens and you have all your products packed and ready to go, and they sit in your warehouse or sit in your home for a week, and then they go out closer to the deadline.
And you have some peace of mind.
Yeah, but if you don't have everything in, then you can't start packing. You can't do your job. So you got to be able to make sure that everything gets in on time, and that gets really difficult around the holiday season.
Yeah, and you have to anticipate, and this is a hard one, of how things are going to become packaged. You remember the scarves?
Oh, yeah.
We ordered scarves. I didn't want to use crinkle paper. I wanted to have like a nice red scarf that, could be used again as kind of like the fluff in the box. We ordered them from DHgate. I'd never ordered from China before. They came in like 2 boxes because they're so efficient at packing. But they had taken the scarves, folded them in half, twisted them, braided them, and condensed them down to balls, like so small that they were able to fit so much in boxes. But it was a nightmare. We had to braid them, unbraid them, and then they were so wrinkled. We had to put them in our washer machine. It broke our washer machine, but we were able to fix it. And then there was these red fibers all over everything for like months. And it was just, you want to talk about adding a day's worth of labor onto everything.
Yeah, we make sure everybody asks how they're going to be packaged so there's no surprises when they get here.
Yeah.
If we've run into some situations where we've had to add prep work because things aren't packaged the way that they're supposed to be packaged.
Yeah.
And that's pushed deadlines back. And that's like rule number 1, you can't push a deadline back.
No.
But if you don't get on the phone and you don't talk to the distributor, if everything you do is over email, you're going to miss things. Yeah. That's why we're so adamant about
get on the phone,
our team getting on the phone, figuring out how everything and when everything and where it's coming from, understand everything about it, and then call all the time to check up on the product.
Yeah. Because you might be order 1 of 100 and it's your priority, but the vendor has other things to handle. So it is your job to make sure they're on top of everything. And it will never come back to bite you in the ass. Like, it will always be a benefit. Just do it. You know, we're so like, have you picked up the phone? Where is the shipment? We have a shipment spreadsheet tracker of everything. How many times have you followed up on this date? What are they saying to you? We keep a log now. We do not play around anymore with anything like that.
Yeah, when it gets difficult, I think when you're dealing with a large distributor who has several locations across the country, say you need 10,000 of one product, but only 5,000 is at one location.
Yeah.
2,000 is at another one. 3,000 is at one in California. And you really have to stay on top of each location. It's not just the one salesperson you talk to anymore. You have to actually get a contact at each distributor because they're the ones that are going to be able to go into the warehouse and actually check to see where everything's at. And we've run into issues where we've had, say it was a 10,000 quantity and 8,000 of it show up and the other 2,000 be missing. And nobody knows where it's at. It left the warehouse 5 days ago. Where'd it go?
And to that point, this just reminded me, open up every single box. Don't just check one. Open up every box, get it to the bottom, maybe even put it into a plastic bin when it arrives. Go through it. Because you need to know if you have a problem. And you don't want to find out in real time when you're packing things on the line.
Yeah, you got to double check the quantities. People can't count.
Yeah, double check the quantities, check for damage, things that you wouldn't expect. Open it up, go through it.
Yeah.
Do not leave it to open it on the line.
Yeah, oftentimes freight pallets that get delivered can get pretty banged up sometimes.
Yeah.
There are some freight companies that are way better and some that are way worse about damaging pallets too.
Yeah, just being rough with them.
That's another question you can ask too, is how is it coming? Who's going to be their shipping carrier? There are some that are pretty unreliable about how they treat your product.
Yeah. I feel like we could have had a podcast for every facet. like one on just logistics, one on marketing, but I feel like we should move on into some other stuff. Do you think? Because I think we could go on for
probably.
logistics.
But it does apply to, these are all things that really come into play depending on how large, whoever we're talking to sub box is. But
yeah.
Especially in the holidays, it's everything's amplified.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Everybody's stressed more. And
everybody has more demand.
You're competing with so many more bigger companies than we are.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so marketing. I cannot stress to everyone enough to increase marketing budgets. If you haven't tried a Facebook ad, to try a Facebook ad. If you think your market is going to be on Google, spend more on Google ads. Like I say this, and it cannot ring more true. You will not get your chance until the next holiday season again. You will not be able to capture the volume of people looking to purchase a subscription box again until the next holiday season. So you need every single day counts. And this is a time, I think we ran the numbers. Our first holiday season, how much of a percent did we grow? Like over 1,000%?
Yeah, it was over 1,000%.
This is your chance. You are off to the races. Double down, invest more. And this is why. You will be able to acquire a customer for a fraction of the rate during the holidays than you can spring and summer. So your marketing dollars will be more efficiently spent. You'll have more for a box budget, and you will not get this chance again until the following holiday season.
Not only that, but your customers are looking to spend money during the holiday season.
Okay, so we saw overwhelmingly 3 years in a row that we sell more 6 and 12-month subscriptions during November and December than any other time of the year. And that's because I probably, for like my, let's just say, my friend's birthday, I'd probably spend like $40. But for her Christmas present, let's say this was a sister, for a Christmas present, I probably spend $100. And so overwhelmingly, we see, you're willing to spend more on your spouse at that time, on somebody who's had a new baby that's in your family. In the case for us, people spend more money during the holidays.
Yeah, and like you said, you want to capitalize on that opportunity as much as you can.
Yes.
There's a seasonality to most businesses. Mm-hmm. Ours is definitely during the holidays.
Yes.
We can still sell boxes. We still sell a lot of boxes.
It's just not at the rate.
It's just not at the rate, and our return on investment is just so substantial. And so if you don't know what your ROI is on and during the holiday season, and that's something that you're really going to want to track. You're going to want to find that out, because this is your chance to take a little bit of a gamble, take a little bit of a risk on the ads, and get that ROI up. Mm-hmm. And it'll help for renewals when things slow down in the spring and summer.
So then you have to think too, you want to place an incentive or an offer on your larger subscription packages, because then you are locking up your revenue for the next 6 months or the next 12 months. And you're getting, you're going to maybe give, let's say, like one box free with the 6 or a 12, or 2 boxes free with the 12. It's absolutely worth it, because you have some people that are going to be staying with you to carry you. You're going to get the inflow of cash that you need. And you want to place your efforts not on your month-to-month, maybe on your 3-month, but go for the 6 and 12.
Yeah, definitely do that. And don't be scared to spend a little money to acquire the customer, because you got to remember it's a renewing revenue. So you're only paying to acquire them one time.
Yeah.
So when their box renews and their time to renew is up, you're not paying to acquire them. You've already acquired them.
Yeah.
All right. So that cost is no longer added. So that's more of a profit margin the second time the first time they renew, there's much higher profit margin.
Yeah, absolutely. We also, during all times of the year, we place somebody on social media response to monitor ads. We don't just put an ad up and then let somebody comment and not acknowledge them. We try and acknowledge every single comment when possible. And so we have people watching for that. And then customer service. So the first holiday season, I have these like memories of feeding our newborn at like 3 a.m. and I couldn't sleep, and messaging, because our boxes really are geared and have a sweet spot with new moms. And I would be texting somebody else that would be up at like 3 a.m. asking me questions about the box, and I would just answer. And this woman's like, I can't believe you're up. And I was like, oh, I'm feeding my newborn. She's like, get out of here. Me too. I can't sleep. And it was like funny. But very, very quickly, we outpaced the demand and we could not keep up. And so we found a customer service company. If you're interested, email us and we'll give you the name and we'll set up an introduction to them. But we love them for a lot of different reasons. So they are domestic, very important to us, college educated. They take on the burden of training, maintaining those employees, their payroll, everything like that. And that was very attractive to us too. They're college educated. Did I say that already? Okay. I think it's important so they can like talk to people. And they charge by the minute. So you're not paying for somebody to sit there that's not answering questions. You're only paying for it. And it was at a very reasonable rate, something that we could absolutely afford, even early on, because they only paid when we needed them, because they can answer other companies' questions while you don't have a lot of volume.
Right. So at the time, we tossed around the idea of bringing on an entire customer service team.
Yes.
Because it was such a demand, especially in the holidays, to answer all the questions. Because if we put out an ad, we would get 80 responses to the ad, and we didn't have anybody to reach out and contact to try to close a deal.
And on like the 20th of December, you get all these customer service emails. Where's my box?
Yeah. The people start freaking out closer to Christmas. Where's the box? Where's the box? Where's the box? So you want to have someone there to answer those questions. It was way more cost effective for us to bring on one person on our team to handle it, who's one of our VPs
supervisor now. Yeah.
And she trains this customer service team who we outsource. It's way more cost effective now, or it's cost effective to do that than it is to bring on and manage and train a whole team in house. It's been really nice.
Oh,
it's been a good relationship.
Good. They staff such good people, and it's really in their wheelhouse. And I would say we would never consider getting an in-house customer service team. We went ahead and re-upped our yearly contract early to try and negotiate lower rates because we knew we were going to stay with them because they're that good. Yeah,
that would be. I feel like there'd be a ton of turnover.
Yeah,
it would be a challenge. It'd be something that we could do. We could have our own team in here, but it'd be extremely time consuming. And I don't know if I don't think it would save us money.
No, and we do have quiet times where they'd be sitting here like, and at least with this model, they're working on somebody else's account. And then the second a ticket comes in, they shift their focus back over to us. And I mean, it just works, and it works well.
Yeah, and we got a pretty steady group too that works with us there. So
we've been very blessed. And the upside also, if you go with this agency, is that they have subscription box experience. Like some of the education, because we were their first subscription client, we've done the work for you.
Yeah.
They know shipping cutoff, shipping frequency, how to answer those kind of questions. They know the model. And so you'd be able to be plugged in very well.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else you can think of? Oh, have fun. I mean, it's surreal. I can remember having to turn off my Stripe and PayPal notifications because I'm not joking you. It was like ding, 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 ding. And I'm not over exaggerating. It is the most surreal experience during the holidays. If you hit it right, oh my God. I mean.
Yeah, I think you got to be willing to take a little bit of a risk
to
capitalize on it. But if you do that, you can really set yourself up to get a good base of customers, loyal customers that you wouldn't normally be able to get. Don't be scared to explore the advertising.
Yes.
And try different things.
So I think what you're saying too is don't be scared. We had not a penny to spend. And so, I mean, we were tight. I had left a corporate job. We were tight. And so I put $1 into Facebook, let's say. And during the holidays, we got 7 out. So that was the first day maybe. So we started very, very small. I threw $100 at it, turned it into 7. Next day, took the 7. And as you get closer to the holidays, you can see a 12-time return on ad spend investment. Then you have 12 to put in. And you just keep doing that. And you don't have to have $5,000 sitting in the bank to make this work. You just have to watch it, be smart, be authentic, be relatable, don't oversell. I can't stand when we see Facebook ads that are just like sell, 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 sell. Know your audience. If you need help with advertising, we have somebody that helps with that too, but it is when you scale up larger. But very much, we started real lean. And in that month of December, I think I made more in that month of my salary of the job I had left.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, some of that goes to costs and carrying and everything, but it's totally possible. And you don't have to have a bag of money sitting in the bank.
Yeah, I remember when you put the first $100 in. You didn't tell me because like
it was that tight.
We were so tight. We really didn't have $100 to spend.
I was afraid you may have said no. And I knew I wanted to try.
I knew I would have said no because we didn't have $100 to spend.
Yeah.
I still don't know where you got the $100 from.
Probably a credit card.
And so she goes, I remember she waited a day to tell me. And she goes, and he's like, I did something. And I'm like, oh shit. Here we go. What happened? She goes, I spent $100 on ads.
I think
I was just like, well, what's an ad? Like, what do you where'd you advertise? And although I figured it was Facebook, I mean, your background is in Facebook advertising. So, but then you already knew that we were getting sales. We had already started to get it. I think we got like 3 sales or something. No.
I think I waited and I was like, but I turned our 100 into 800, or it was even close to 1,000. And you were like, I said, like, Brian, it's going to work. Like, it's going to work.
Yeah. And it couldn't come at a better time because we were tight.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was like watching those coupon shows on TLC, trying to, pay for groceries. It was lean. We'd always been a dual income household, and I had quit my job and like just had this baby, and it was scary, and we hit it at the right time. And I mean, that $100 changed our life.
You were extreme couponing to save money. I've never seen so much soap in one household.
Yeah, because you can like buy things for like a penny. And so when you can buy them for a penny, you stock up because then you don't have to buy them again. Oh my God. And we were living in the smallest house and we had nowhere to put all this stuff.
We had all this shit in our house with the boxes. And I'm not saying that 1,600 square feet is a small house or a big house. But when you have that much crap in it, it becomes very tight, especially with
all the baby stuff.
Toddlers and infants.
Yeah.
And you're not sleeping. It was one heck of a time.
Yeah. And don't be afraid too. The landscape of Facebook advertising, I'm speaking specifically to that because that's where we've always primarily acquired our customers, has changed a little bit. If your $100 fails on you, don't be afraid. Tweak things, watch them, try another audience, switch up your messaging, create a lead magnet. That could be a whole nother conversation. But, I have confidence that it can work for a lot of people.
Yeah, and this could be a whole nother talk, but we do a good job of understanding who our demographic is, who it is that we're trying to target.
And we speak to them.
And we try to relate to them.
Yeah.
And I think we do a tremendous job of that.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't try to be for everybody. We know that our boxes can serve other audiences, but we really address the ones we know it works for.
Yeah. We try to continue to be good at what we're good at.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't try to reinvent the wheel. We'll try to do new things. We'll try different audiences. We'll have success at sometimes. Sometimes it'll be a failure.
Yeah.
But we make sure we take care of our bread and butter.
Absolutely. So it's scary. But I mean, it's so cool too. We just love holiday because it's so fast paced. We've been preparing for it. We wish you all the best. I want to be what Bajorn was for us in our first holiday season. So if you need anything, reach out to us. You know, if you message on Facebook, while we have a team of 7 people, I'm still watching it on my phone. So I'll see your messages come in. If you want to just email customer service at nightinboxes.com, that's fine. You can find both of us on Instagram. We are here for you and so willing to help because we were blessed with people that did that for us early on. And I don't know what we would have done without some of those people.
Yeah. If anything, we can pay it forward a little bit.
Yeah,
I think.
totally. And we've kind of seen it all. I'm sure there'll be some new challenges to come, but we have a real good system down and we can scale immensely at Holiday because we've had some of these pain points and learnings.
Follow us on Instagram. Reach out to us. Message us.
Yeah.
We'll link that in the description of this video.
Absolutely. Or description of the show notes. Okay. Wishing you all the best holiday season. And just remember, make the most of every day. It sounds cliche, but you're not going to get it until next November, December, and January. So have at it.
That's right. Enjoy your week. Till next time.
Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.